Every spring provides us with just the sweetest opportunity to embark upon a cleanse. So, whether you're deciding to actually embark upon a fast of sorts, or whether you're just cleansing your spirit, spring invites us to invoke that kind of clearing and that kind of healing. And, after a long winter, it can feel particularly amazing to kind of shed those layers to reignite sort of your passionate involvement with your health, but also with the natural world. And the amazing thing about spring and what makes it to the traditional time of cleansing is that all of the spring greens come back. And what's so incredible about these spring greens, or one of the many incredible things, is that so many of them are natural cleansers and healers for our body, and almost all of them are weeds. So a lot of these herbs that are traditionally used as spring cleansing plants are just growing wild around your house and probably around your neighborhood. And there's a lot of these different plants, so that includes dandelion, violet, chickweed, and the one I wanted to talk about today is chickweed. So chickweed is one of my favorite spring cleansing herbs, and particularly because it's so proliferate. And I'm actually here, this is the cow pasture right behind my house, and this is a prime place to get some chickweed because chickweed loves to grow out of manure. So if you have a garden and you've tilled in some manure, you might find chickweed just springing up everywhere. Chickweed is pretty easy to ID once you get the hang of it. It's got a smooth stem and leaves, and it's got opposite leaves here on the stem. And it also has a little flower at the top, and its scientific name is Stellaria media, Stellaria meaning star. And the flower itself actually looks like a star, and if you look at it, it seems as though it has 10 petals, but it's actually 5 petals deeply divided. And it gets these really great little wing buds coming off the side. That's not a botanical term, but that's what they look like to me. And so lastly, one of the easiest ways to know that you've got chickweed and not something else that might fit that profile is, even though the stem is very smooth, if you look at it closely, there's actually a line of little hairs that travels up just one side of the stem, and then it switches to the other side right at the top. And that's like a key clue that what you've got is chickweed. So chickweed is a diuretic. It's particularly helpful for cleansing our kidneys in a very, very gentle way. It's also traditionally used to curb appetite, which is very interesting that it has that sort of history to it, and it's a spring cleansing herb. It's also a vulnerary, so it is really healing for our tissues. That's what vulnerary means. So topically, it's a really important skin healing herb, and one of my favorite ways to do that is just to take it, to chew it up. If I've got a rash or hives or a small abrasion, chew it up, make a chew and spit poultice, and I just stick it right on there, and it's so cooling and so soothing. So just like it'll do this for our external tissues, it'll do that for internal tissues as well. So really great for just healing our digestive tracts, especially if you have anything like ulcers. It's very cooling, very rejuvenative in that way. Chickweed is also considered a blood cleanser in Appalachian folk terms. And basically what that means is it's helping our body in its natural process of elimination. And the term in the Western herbal world is a alterative. So you might hear those two words interchangeably, alterative and blood cleanser. But chickweed is a premier blood cleanser, and my favorite way to really get it into my spring diet is just to eat it. I mean, I eat tons of it. I have whole salads that are just chickweed. I throw it on my sandwiches. I make pestos. Chickweed pesto is so, so good. And it's really super high in a lot of vitamins and minerals. So much so that it's actually a traditional convalescent food. So this is some of the first food that we would have fed people who had been bedridden for a long time, who were recovering from a long illness. And one of the grandfathers of Appalachian herbalism is a Alabama herbalist named Tommy Bass. And one of the things that he said that I just loved is he's basically said that chickweed can help you with anything that ails you, but not because it's a cure, but because it provides so much relief. And I kind of loved that. Cows are moving. I love that because there's something about chickweed that has that feeling of relief. I think one of the reasons why I'm so in love with this plant is because of its energetics. It's so sweet, it's so nourishing, but it also has that sort of that soft, supportive feeling, that feeling of like, relief, like the relief of, yes, my body can do this natural work to cleanse itself. Yes, I'm nourished once more. Yes, spring has returned. Like, the relief. You know, the relief of finding myself here and finding the green world growing and finding that there is abundance, wild abundance, everywhere I look. So this is chickweed, and I hope that this beautiful plant finds its way into your world, into your medicine making, and maybe into your spring salads as well.